I used to believe attention was fair. That if you were kind, thoughtful, and competent, people would naturally notice. That attention followed merit, that eventually effort spoke for itself. Then I watched the same pattern repeat everywhere. In classrooms, in friend groups, at work, online. The loudest person got listened to, the most visible person got remembered. And the most capable person often got ignored. When I asked why, the answer was always vague. They just have presence, they stand out. They know how to work a room. That's when I realized something uncomfortable. Attention isn't earned the way we think it is. It's distributed by a system most people don't even know exists. Every social environment has an attention hierarchy. There's always someone people turn toward. Someone people wait for. Someone whose words land heavier than everyone else's. And then there are the others. The ones who contribute quietly. Who listen more than they speak. Who are reliable, supportive, and present. They're trusted, but they're rarely prioritized. And the difference between these two groups has very little to do with talent. Psychologists call this attention economics. Attention is a limited resource. And like money, it flows toward what is most noticeable, not what is most valuable. Research on group dynamics shows that people consistently mistake visibility for importance. The person who speaks first is seen as more competent. The person who speaks most is seen as more influential, even when their ideas are objectively worse. In one study, groups were asked to solve complex problems. The individual who dominated the conversation was later rated as the natural leader, despite being wrong more often than the quiet expert in the room. The expert wasn't ignored because they lacked value. They were ignored because value without visibility doesn't register. This creates a brutal paradox. The people who are most self-aware, thoughtful, and emotionally regulated are often the least attention-seeking. They wait their turn, they don't interrupt. They don't perform confidence. And in doing so, they accidentally signal something dangerous. Low urgency. In social systems, low urgency is interpreted as low importance. Not consciously, instinctively. Your brain evolved to notice movement, sound, and dominance displays. Not quiet competence. This is why effort alone doesn't work. People think, if I just give more, contribute more, support more, I'll be seen. So they become dependable. They become emotionally available. They become the person everyone leans on. And slowly something shifts. They stop being noticed and start being relied on. Psychologists refer to this as a low-status prosocial role. You're valuable to the group, but not central to it. Needed, but not prioritized. Appreciated, but not influential. And once you're placed in this role, it's hard to escape. What makes this worse is that attention compounds. Once someone is seen as important, people give them more attention. That attention increases their perceived status, which earns them even more attention. It's a feedback loop. Meanwhile, those outside the spotlight face the opposite. Less attention leads to fewer opportunities to speak, which reinforces invisibility, which further lowers perceived importance. This isn't a merit system, it's a momentum system. And here's the part most people don't like hearing. We all participate in this. We reward confidence because it's easy to spot. We mistake assertiveness for leadership. We assume the most visible person deserves the space they take. Studies show we form judgments about someone's competence within seconds, based on posture, tone, eye contact, and how quickly they speak. That's why taller people are seen as more authoritative. Why deeper voices are trusted more. Why people who speak decisively are believed, even when they're wrong. None of this predicts actual value, but it predicts attention. So what do you do with this? First, awareness. Once you understand that attention follows signals, not worth, you stop internalizing being overlooked as a personal failure. Second, recalibration. Attention doesn't respond to overgiving. It responds to boundaries, selectivity, and presence. People notice what isn't always available. They respect what doesn't chase. They reevaluate what stops trying to prove itself. And finally, choice. You don't have to become louder. You don't have to perform with confidence. You don't have to betray who you are. But you do have to understand the system you're inside. Because the brutal reality is this. The world doesn't notice the best people, it notices the most visible ones. And once you see that clearly, you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking a far more powerful question. How does attention really work?